My sons, let's not fight against each other. To avoid all this fight between your influence and mine, why don't we find a solution to the reoccurring arguments? Yes, Father, what do you propose? As you know, this location can no longer sell my cattle and yours like it used to. Come on, you have prospered so much. You have a large family, a lot of animals, and cattle to care for. Likewise, myself, to properly take care of our individual family and livestock. Why don't we look around? Let us branch out, right, to different directions. Oh, that sounds great. Since you agree with me, you choose, look around you, and choose which direction pleases you. Any direction I will accept. Why I choose the opposite direction? Oh, superb. Let me look around for a bit. I see a beautiful place over there. Where? 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 I can't see where you're pointing to. Where? Look! Look, Father! Look over there! The valley of Jordan. It is filled with green grasses and it is well watered as it is close to the Jordan River. Okay, son, okay for that. It is a good choice. My family and I are joining Esau, Father.
Evil conflicts between servants can cause a separation between brothers. Eh? Oh, sorry. I got carried away. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Ibukulu Keke, and you're welcome back to Bible Story Retail. Here I solely focus on the biblical heroes from Genesis down to Revelation. And on today's episode, I will be telling you the story of Abraham and Lot. You can see in that short clip. Stay glued to your screen because this is going to be an interesting one. These two men have acquired many possessions over the years. Abram, being rich in gold and silver, cattle and manpower, needed a large area of land to do his business of taking care of livestock. Lot, on the other hand, had his family, servants, and wealth. Remember, we talked about Abraham and his family journeying to Egypt for food in the first episode. I told you of how he had been chased out of Egypt. Please check the first episode. That's the second video with the one titled Abram, and you see episode 1. So check it so as to understand where we are. All right. Well, on getting back to their dwelling place between Bethel and Hai, that space didn't seem enough for Abraham and Lot's family. After a while, the servants of both men began to fight for grazing area. This conflict continued day after day, unending misunderstanding and strife. Abraham took his dearest nephew and son, Lot, to the top of an hill. He spoke to him calmly and asked him to choose another area, told him to relocate to a different direction. Lot looked at different sides and saw a well-nourished region he would like to move to. Abraham then promised to pick his abode in the opposite direction. Lot and family, along with his servants and possession, relocated from between Bethel and Ai towards Jordan and dwelt in one of the cities that wasn't at the top of the mountains. He pitched his tent towards Sodom. But you see, the people of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord God. He didn't know this. He only saw how well nourished their land was. Abram, on the other hand, moved his tent to Hebron in the plain of Mamre. I would like to tell you that after Abram agreed to separate from Lot, he went to seek God's face. God spoke to Abraham and once again made a declaration to him. Lift up now thy eyes and look from the place where you are. northward and southward, eastward and westward. All the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length and the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. We find this in Genesis chapter 13, verse 14 to 17. So, after this, he moved to Mamre, built an altar unto the Lord, and offered sacrifice to him. Now, while Abram lived in Mamre, he became very good friends with 3 Amorite brothers, and their names were Mamre, Eshcol, and Aner. Now, here is an interesting story within the story titled 5 Kings Against 4. Once upon a time, there lived 4 kings who unleashed terror on 5 kings and prevailed. These 4 kings were known strong kings. The greatest of them all was Chedorlaomer, king of Elam. A lot of small kingdoms and cities paid tribute and served Chedorlaomer during his time. That is, they must send their taxes to this king. The wealth of any of the city and villages under his power and reign, or those who use his trade route, belong to this king. After many years of serving Chedorlaomer, some of these towns decided to rebel and stop sending their taxes to the king. That made King Chedorlaomer call on some other powerful kings to fight the rebellious cities along with him. He called Ariel, king of Elasa, Tidal, king of nations, and Amraphel, king of Shimnar, to destroy those rebellious states. So they killed the Raphaims, the Suzims, the Emims, the Orites, and some other cities. Then they proceeded to destroy more of the villages of the Amorites. The king of Sodom and that of Gomorrah caught wind of this battle going on and the plots of those 4 kings. They instantly made an alliance with 3 more kings: Shinab, king of Admar, Shemiba, king of Zeboim, and the king of Zohar. They came together to fight the 4 kings coming at them. The Vale of Siddim was the battleground, and all those 4 kings conquered the 5 kings that stood against them. Bera, king of Sodom, and Bashar, king of Gomorrah, ran from the battlefield, but fell in the slime pit because a lot of areas in the Vale of Siddim is filled with bitumen or asphalt or tar, however you like to call it. The other 3 kings ran to the nearby mountains. Chedorlaomer and his allies entered into Sodom and Gomorrah, captured the people, took their valuables, and in their capturing, they captured Lot and his family. Big mistake. One of Lot's servants escaped and went to Mamre, informed Abram of the calamity that had befallen Lot. Abram immediately called for support from the 3 brothers he had previously made alliance with in Mamre. Remember their names? Eshcol, Mamre, and Aner. Then he equipped with weapon 318 skilled men. He had taught them how to fight. All together went after those 4 kings at night and attacked them, killed Chedorlaomer and the 3 other kings, including their men. They were able to rescue all the people captured by these 4 kings, Lot and his family inclusive. Then they returned to Sodom and Gomorrah. On getting to Shiver Valley, the king of Sodom introduced himself, showed his gratitude, and appreciated Abram for his efforts. Now, a person of interest is brought into the scene. Someone who had never been mentioned before appeared and introduced himself as Melchizedek, king of Salem, which is interpreted as king of peace or king of righteousness. Melchizedek was also the priest of the Most High God. He didn't just come, no, he came to bless Abram. He came with bread and wine. This is let me say precedence of what the responsibility of the priests in the Levitical priesthood will be doing, but that's not where we're going. As he saw Abram, he blessed him and blessed God and acknowledged that God was in fact the one who delivered Abraham's enemy into his hands. Abram proceeded to do something that hadn't been done before. He gave tithes to the priests. That is, he gave a tenth of the things that were gotten from those 4 kings. He gave a tenth of the spoils of war. After this, Bera, king of Sodom, turned to Abram and told him it was okay if he went with all the valuables belonging to them that were initially taken by the 4 kings, and he can just hand over his people. You want to know what Abram said? He refused. He said he wouldn't take those things, as he wouldn't want to hear from other sources that he, Bera, king of Sodom, made Abram rich. Then he proceeded to return all that was taken from them. His only request was the portion of food meant for his servants, and that which was due the 3 Amorites with him from the valuables. Abram was very aware of the evil perpetrated in Sodom and Gomorrah of that time, and he didn't want to have anything to do with that. Now, this is the end of today's episode. Please click the subscribe button, like, comment what you learned from the story. This story is taken from Genesis chapter 13 and 14. In the next video, I'll be sharing my findings during the study of this story. Have a good day and God bless you.